All right, this is Todd Probasco from Lakeside Bank in the mortgage department. And welcome to another edition of The Insiders, where we're going to talk about real estate, mortgages, and what's happening in and around the industry. Today, I have a very special guest. I have Carla Patrone from Keller Williams. Carla, how are you?
Hi, I am fantastic. Another beautiful day in sunny Chicago.
There you go. I love it. Yes. Well, thank you for joining us. And I know it's going to be a fun little conversation. So why don't we do a brief introduction for each other for people who are watching or listening. Tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
I am Carla Patrone, Keller Williams Preferred Realty out of Orland Park, Illinois. I service all south suburbs of Chicago and the Chicagoland area. Love my job, love helping others get into their perfect next step, next place.
Excellent. So you help people buy and sell in and around the Chicagoland area.
Yes, investors, commercial properties, all kinds.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And it's pretty basic what I do. I handle people with their financing if they're looking to buy or refinance. Since I work at a bank, which is kind of cool, we're able to do loans in all 50 states, but I am based here in Chicago, just like you. So
Love it.
Anyway, so let's dive into it. When you look at the market today, rates have stabilized. We're currently sitting at like a 3-year low. For those of you who are listening here on October 20th, 2025, the average 30-year mortgage is hovering right around 6%. A year ago today, we were like 7% or a little higher. So we've seen a correction or an improvement, and things are kind of holding and in a nice little pattern of not a lot of ups and downs, which is not good for the market. With that being said, usually interest rates dictate what's going on in the industry in regards to activity and volume. We've seen an uptick in volume. How about you, Carla, on the real estate side? Are you seeing more action, more activity?
Same. I have to say, I haven't experienced a lull at all this year. I've been extremely busy since January. So
Awesome.
yeah, everyone that says the market's down or, it's not doing anything. No, I don't know. I'm experiencing a very good, time in the real estate business. I do think that it's keeping people in the game with the rates staying, comfortable at 6 and people knowing that they can make the move, get into their next property, and they're doing it. So
yeah. There's always business to be had. People got to buy and sell and move and whatever. There's
That's
always deals to be had. So if you have the referral network and you have the experience, you're always going to be busy, which I know you do.
yes.
With that being said, that's kind of a bridge. Let's talk a little bit about our history and our backgrounds. I myself have been doing this 23 years. I love doing mortgages. Don't ask me why. But helping people, get into their first home, I still get a charge out of. I think if you ever lose that little fire in your belly or excitement of helping people get their first home, maybe it's time to move on. But it's so exciting when you see somebody go from renting or getting out of school, getting their first job and getting their first place. But
Agreed.
yeah, 23 years. I started as a loan officer and now I'm managing the mortgage department here at Lakeside Bank. But how about you? How long? I know you've been around real estate for a long time. We chatted earlier.
So I actually started back in 1999. I had a construction company, flipped houses. Like my big joke is I was Christina on the Coast before she was ever born. So I have a passion for it. I love reimagining rooms and, bringing people through. And just like you, the excitement of what is their next step and, helping them find the perfect fit for them, whether it's downsizing or growing into another home because they're starting a family, moving to the city, moving out of the city. We experience it all. And I love being a part of that. I feel that once I get to know my clients and what exactly their needs and wants are, we're that much closer and now we're family. So I get to know their kids. I get to know everything about them. And that's the funnest part because then we've built that relationship. And long after the sale, the closing of their property, we remain friends. They show me pictures of the things that they're doing to the house, the vacations that they're taking, what the kids are doing now. And I love it. I think that that's so important.
Love it.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that brings a lot of value to people that you personally get involved with them. So Let's talk about the current market, and we'll talk about people who are listening. Why would they want to hire either one of us? We all know what's going on in regards to there's way more buyers than sellers. We have a lot of sellers that have that low interest rate from back in COVID that don't want to give up the property, but there's still people, a lot of people who want to buy. So when a property goes on the market, it's like a flurry of activity.
Yes.
Let's talk about when you have a buyer and there's this great new house that pops up, which all of a sudden it gets 2,000 views online. How are you playing that game with your buyer? And I'm sure you're kind of like setting up the expectation, like get ready. There's gonna be a lot of action and, let's go look at it. But if they're interested, what are you doing to help your buyers possibly win that deal?
We have to act immediately and aggressively because that's where the market is. And most often you have one chance. There is no back and forth. There is no negotiating. Nobody wants to deal with it. They got 20 bids coming in on one house, and that lender puts, or that agent puts 2 days of effort into showing the property. Hey, we got a long weekend and we want a best and final by Sunday night or Monday. And so I tell my clients, decide where you're at. What is your highest you'll go? Where are you at in this? And there's no such thing as asking for much, right? Like these people want, it's an as-is sale these days, which means they don't want to do anything to fix it. So they want to go either conventional loan or cash. If you're going FHA, they're going to be asking for things to get corrected. And the seller often doesn't want anything to do with that. No. They want it free and clear. So, and again, same with contingencies. If you're contingent on your property being sold first, that's another problem that happens where then you're getting passed by. So you talk to your mortgage lender about that because there's things you can do to bridge that, right? So that you can get into that home that you need to get in, and it's almost like a cash deal. Am I right?
You are. And talking about the lender, the one thing you and I can offer, which I don't see a lot of it, is doing a combination of you and I to help that buyer. And I always tell people, not because I'm on the lending side, but without money, it doesn't matter. You can go look at houses and market and all this other stuff. Without the money in the deal, it doesn't matter. And I think if your client, this is what we could offer together. If the buyer wants to make an offer, you submit my contact and I call that listing agent and let them know how strong your client is. And I hate to say this, how foolish they would be not to accept.
True.
Your client's offer. By us working that together could really help the buyer secure a deal. So
yes.
Okay. That's today. And by the way, I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Me neither.
It's just going to be a good property goes on. There's going to be multiple offers. It is what it is. So people, those of you watching and listening, make sure you got your ducks in a row. Have your mortgage pre-approval done. Have Carla look at your current property if it needs to be ready to go on the market, and hire professionals like ourselves to help you strategize and put together the right offer to give you the best shot at winning that property, because it's not easy. I'll say right now, it's craziness. We have people that for months have been trying to get a deal, and finally when they do, it's like, the fireworks go off like 4th of July. It's like, oh my God, they got a house. So couple questions that have come up. I think I haven't talked about this on a podcast, but I will since we're talking about this. Carla takes you out and wants to show you houses, and that's fun. That's the exciting part. But the finance and the paperwork, that's not the fun part, but you got to get that done. Because of this multiple offer and how hard it is to land a property, recently I've had people ask me, how long is that pre-approval good for? Because I hate to say this, folks, odds are it's going to be hard to land your first property you're looking at to get an offer accepted. You might have to look at quite a few. That's just life right now. The answer to that question is a pre-approval is good for 90 days. Why is it 90 days? Because 90 days says we're going to look at your credit, we're going to look at your income, we're going to look at your assets. Per Fannie Mae, who sets the rules and the guidelines, that credit report that we look at today for the pre-approval is only good for 90 days. So you got to get pre-approved before you go look at houses. That's the smart thing to do. just keep in mind that that's good for 90 days. If that process takes longer than 90 days, then really all we got to do is update documents and take a soft pull and look at that credit report again to make sure nothing changed. So I thought I'd share that. I haven't shared that before. Yeah. All right. As we move forward, look, we're coming to the end of 2025. I can't believe I'm saying that. It seems like it was just St. Patrick's Day, but here we are at the end of October, getting ready for Halloween, which means
summer.
Right. We got to start thinking about next year. What are your thoughts for 2026, and how do you see the market, and what are you going to be working on next year as we look at real estate here and around Chicagoland?
Yeah, I don't see it changing. I actually see more happening. I mean, I'm still listing today. Once we finish up, I'm heading out to Shorewood, Illinois to do a photo shoot, professionals coming out to do all that good stuff on a property that I have there. People are still, I have one coming up in Homer. So things are still happening this year. People say the market's going to slow down for the holidays. It's not happening. People may want to get in before the holidays, but it's still growing. As far as next year goes, there might be those few that are saving their energy to start the rush. I have clients that are going to be listing in January. So they're not afraid of the winter. They're not afraid of what's going to happen. And I feel like the mortgage rates may go down a little bit still. If not, 6% is a comfortable rate. On average, what was our average? Like 7 or 8% through the years? That was like the comfortable
I think it's, if you look at the last 50 years, I think it's north of 10%. I mean, my God, you're right. That's a great point. 6%, when you look at the history of mortgage rates, is phenomenal.
Right. I mean, my first home I bought in 1984, I paid 18% interest. And I thought, you got to get in. The house might have only been $45,000, but the interest rate was ginormous. And that's what happens. And so there's always going to be something. If you look back in history, this is the lowest it's ever been for me to buy a property since I've started.
Yeah. Those are great points. I love hearing people say 6% is great, because guess what? It is. It's a great rate. And don't forget, if something did happen in the market to where they go lower, you can always refinance. It's not that hard. Super easy. And when you go to refinance, you really have two options. You can roll the closing costs into the loan, or if rates really go down low enough, you can take a little bit of a higher rate and have no closing costs at all. Feel free to reach out if you want a little more explanation on that.
Yes.
2026. They expect activity to increase. More closings, more real estate transactions, more mortgages than in 2025. That's good for everybody. Not only just Carla and Todd selling, but for the U.S. economy. Real estate has a big impact on the U.S. economy.
Yes.
We affect a lot of people. And if there are more real estate transactions going on, it's good for the country. It's good for the economy. And I see 2026 to be a good year. 2025 was better than 24. I think 26 will be better than 25. And we're trending in the right direction, which is good. So
agreed. I think builders, we're seeing more. Like, we had a lull in building properties, right? Because of the pandemic and everything that slowed us down. Now we see more subdivisions being built. Where I live, I have subdivisions on every side of me. I'm in Lockport, but there's so much going on in Lockport, in New Lenox, in Homer. Like, there's so many subdivisions all over. So it's showing you there's going to be people that are filling it. I sold a property, brand new subdivision in Tinley Park. So there's so many subdivisions still going in, and they're filling up. It's not like we're running out of houses. We have sufficient, and that's one thing that's increasing too, is our supply is going up, because more people are saying, okay, I don't have to hang on to my 2 3/4% or 3% interest rate anymore. They get it. I mean, it was fun while it lasted. It was not realistic, and don't expect that to ever come back, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. Hilarious. It's fun to while it's lasted. Time for you to move on. Take a higher.
Right.
All right. Well, if you haven't noticed, for those of you watching and listening, Carla brings a lot of experience to the table. I would strongly suggest you reach out to her. I'll have links to each other in the caption, in the description, on how to get a hold of each other. But Carla brings a lot of experience that can help you buy or sell in and around Chicagoland. She's a straight shooter. She's a hard worker, and she's done a little bit of everything in real estate, which I think brings a lot of value. So,
Thank you.
yeah, for sure. All right, kind of put a bow around this and try to bring it home. There's one thing I want to add, that after meeting you and talking about doing this podcast, one thing I noticed is you're really big on, like you said earlier, getting to know people and offering personal service. I just had a meeting this morning with somebody, and he was asking me about sales and marketing, and I said, and he's in the home service industry, and I said, you know what? There's almost like two models going on in our business. One, the big model, the 800 number, the website, you're calling and you're getting a call center person, da, 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 da. Or there's that model like the Little Ace Hardware in your hometown, where you walk in, you have the question, and you get the answer, and you feel good when you leave because that person spent time with you and helped you.
Yep.
For those of you, again, who are watching and listening, Carla and myself are that Little Ace Hardware. If you're looking to buy or sell, or you're looking to refi or get a mortgage to purchase, we're not an 800 number. We're not a website. Carla's going to sit down, like she said, get to know you, your family, your goals, your needs, look out for your best interest, which is important, as well as myself. We are going to take you from start to finish. Carla, why don't you elaborate on the value of that personal service when it comes to making such a big purchase like real estate?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest decisions of your life. And we don't take that lightly. I feel that if you trust me, I'm going to give you 120%. You're putting your trust in what we could do for you, right? So you're going to find them the best rates. You're going to get them I'm going to get them the best deal when they're buying, selling, and I feel like, listen, my neighbors know I'm just not borrowing a cup of sugar. I'm going to sell their house. So, and I'm going to do it for the best price out there and get the best neighbors back in, right? So those are things I say to my clients too. I walk around the neighborhood. If I'm listing a house, I let the neighbors know what's going on. Hey, we're getting this house ready to sell. If you want to pick your neighbor, send them on by. Here's my card. Here's my information, which is super important because that's one thing you usually can't do in life is pick your neighbors, right?
Right.
So given the opportunity and just letting the neighborhood know what's going on, I think is important in this day, especially when there's so much, people are nervous, people are unaware of what's going on. And so it kind of brings a little comfort to know that there's somebody in their neighborhood that's in their corner that wants to, take care of them as well.
Yeah,
So,
I love that,
big
because real estate, usually a transaction is because of something going on in life, right?
Yes.
The family's growing, the family's getting smaller, downsizing, this, that, whatever. It's a thing called life. We are intertwined with a thing called life. And in today's world with technology, yeah, you can call an 800 number. You can go on a website and hire a national company to do real estate or mortgages. But I can tell you right now, if you're looking to explain what's going on in your life and have somebody care, listen, and execute, one of us, I think, is much better than getting a call center in Cleveland.
That's right. We're always there. Our phone rings. We're the human on the other end answering it. And that's key. I don't want to sit on hold.
You know what's funny? Now that we're talking about this, I thought of this. This was a couple of years ago. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in real estate. I haven't said this in a while, but we're talking about the personal service with you and I versus the 800 number or website. I don't know if you saw this, but I did. And I swear to God, I almost fell over. So I pull into the gas station to fill up my car. And you touch the screen, you put your card in, you hit start on the pump. Then here comes the commercials on the screen. I swear to God, I could not believe it. And who the heck would do this is beyond me. But a commercial started for one of those national call center mortgage companies. Da, 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 if you need a mortgage. By the way, if you need a mortgage, touch the screen now while you're filling up your tank.
Oh,
Who
no.
in the heck would start a mortgage at a gas pump?
Right. Right. Is that crazy? Hang on. The cars are behind you are beeping. Like, get out of the way. I'm trying to fill my car.
Wait, okay, I want unleaded, but I want to talk to you about a 30-year fixed. Punch
Yeah.
it. Who the heck would do that at a gas
Right.
pump?
Right. Agreed. Agreed.
So anyway, Carla and I are not the gas pump. Just so
That's
you know.
true. That is true. No, we've seen some
Hilarious.
stuff.
Not funny, but
Fun.
unbelievable. So obviously somebody did it, but anyway,
Right.
that's
I'd like
scary.
to know what the stats were on that. They paid a lot of money for that.
I'd like to know the stats of how many of those closed.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So that's kind of funny. But anyway, Carla, you are amazing. Carla Patrone from Keller Williams. I will have her contact information added at the bottom. It has been a pleasure to get to know you. Thank you for being on the show. Do you have any parting words before we say goodbye here on Real Estate Insiders?
Right. I appreciate the opportunity to sit and chat with you. It's like, our Monday morning coffee club, and I love it, So yeah, I'm here to help. I'll sit down and have coffee.
Maybe the show
anytime.
should be change the name to Coffee Club.
Right. We're going to do it. We're going to the Housing Coffee Club, let us get you in your next place.
Exactly.
Definitely, I'm a phone call away for anything. And, coffee, I'll meet you anywhere, your house
you
or
will. I love
the
it.
next, the coffee
Yeah.
shop.
You're amazing. So if you're looking to buy or sell in and around Chicagoland, please reach out to Carla. If you need a mortgage to buy or refinance anywhere in the U.S., please give me a call. And as always, I want to say thank you for listening to The Insiders. We talk about everything, including getting a mortgage at a gas pump. But I want to thank Carla for being our guest and look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Have a great day, everybody.
Take care. Bye.